Hey, what's up, Jason? This is a quick demo video for you for your Raxus Starkiller with Taco Shop brass chassis. Hey, what's up, Jason? Here is your Raxus from SP Sabers and myself. Thank you for picking this up, by the way. So you had this weathered by Sean, and then he sent it over to you and you sent it directly to me for an install. All right, so we've got your crystal chamber here. One thing to note about your crystal chamber, when you sent it to me, you said that yours was missing this titanium rod right here. Yours was from the batch 2, which had a smaller diameter rod, and I didn't have any of those, but what I did have was an entire assembly, this piece up here and the rod from a batch 1 run. So I just swapped it all out so I could get you that rod. So that's what we did there. It's glued in, no biggie. Real quartz crystal. You've got the Taco Shop brass chamber add-on in here, all weathered. 2-button setup, so power up top with auxiliary in the back. I did add a bit of battle damage to your control box, your bunny ears, and your emitter just a little bit. All right, and you've got a Carl Chen V4 Neopixel connector in there. And then to get to your chassis here, you just want to unscrew your handle. I'm going to come down a little bit so we can actually see it in the camera. And then here we've got your taco chassis. So I was a little fortunate on this one, because normally what I would have to do to get this to fit is I would have to take everything off the handle, put this on my lathe, and lathe out the inside and open up that diameter. I didn't have to do that on this one. So, you know, everything fit perfectly here. I did take the pommel off and machine about half of the threads off, and then I also machined about half of the threads off of this right here where the handle goes on. I had to move the chassis forward so that the speaker would not butt up against the pommel. All right, so that's what we did there, but functionality wise it doesn't affect anything. That's just how I had to install it. All right, so you've got your board cover here. You would need to pry this off to get to the board. I have a pair of tweezers, a flathead tweezers right here, just to do that real quick. So let me pop that off. When you pop that off, you've got your OLED screen here, your Proffie board, and access to your SD card and your micro USB. If you don't need to get to your board, there's really no need to even take that off. All right, so it is a nice press fit onto there, and it doesn't come off. Flipping it over here, you've got your secondary crystal chamber with your spinning piece that I'll show you here in a second. You do have some extra lighting accents up in here. This is your battery cradle with your SD card. Again, to get to your battery, and you will need to do this when you get it, just kind of take something sharp and pry this guy off. All right, a little bit from one side and then a little bit from the other side, and it will come off. That's pretty tight, but that holds your 18350 battery. When taking the battery out, pry it a little bit from one side, a little bit from the other. Keep going back and forth until that pops out, and it will pop out for you. But you'll want to give this a charge. It's a brand new battery. All right, and then when you're done, put this back on there. And this too is a pretty tight snap fit on there. All right, running a 28mm Smuggler's Outpost Elite speaker. This has 2 sound fonts. It has the font that my buddy Jesse over at Kyberphonic made me, and then it also has the Scrap Tech font that my buddy Keenan over at Kasith made for my upcoming run. All right, so to turn on the Saber, we'll come over here and flip the kill switch. So you've got my boot up on this particular font, which is the Apologize font, and your battery meter. So you've got that extra, like a broken circuitry animation right here. You can see your crystal spinning. Everything reacts to the auxiliary button being pressed. You've got twist off, and then if we hit auxiliary to go to the next sound font, Scrap Tech, says Raxus, and then you will have Kasith's OLED animation when this sound font is playing. All right. And then when the Saber is off, you can see each one of your crystals is doing a little something different. So that's what it looks like when the handle's off. This thing really screams though when you put the handle on. So we'll just take it and twist it on all the way. till this bar right here is lined up with your crystal and this greebly right here. Twist on. You can slide this down if you like. Get a peek of your secondary chamber. And then when you're not using it, you could just take it and slide it back up. No big deal there. All right. Or you could just hit power. Your blade retention screw is underneath this guy. That grub screw right there, that's your blade retention screw. Although I am able to use this, you can use this if you're not going to swing the saber around too heavy. If you're going to do some heavy swinging, go ahead and use that grub screw. But for now, we're just going to keep this loose. Put in our 7/8 inch blade. Lock this down all the way and hit power. Blaster bolt deflex is tapping auxiliary. Blade lockup is holding auxiliary down and hitting the saber. We'll go to another. Apologize. Playing your soundtrack is a long press on the power. All right, turning that off is another long press, and it's just that easy. All right, and then when we're done, we can come over here and take our blade out, tighten this back down, and then come over here and just simply flip our kill switch. You're gonna leave the battery in there for you, because that is yours to keep. So we'll turn this on. You see it on right now until we flip the switch here, and it cuts power like it should. All right, but that is basically your Raxus Batch 2 with Taco Shop chassis. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will get this out in the mail to you Monday morning. Thanks, Jason.